Well, hello. It's Pastor Rob here from Crossroads Baptist Church. Welcome to Lunch with Crossroads. Today is March 30th, 2017, and I want to welcome you guys in there. I'm looking out there. Got folks queuing up. I see Lewis O'Brien. There's 4 other people in there watching. Not sure who they all are right now, but folks are just now queuing up. Hey, thank you for tuning in. Today is March 30th, 2017, and you are watching episode 49 of Lunch with Crossroads, a weekly chat about current events from a Christian worldview. And we are broadcasting live here from Elizabethtown, Kentucky, where it is a wonderful spring-like 69 degrees out there. Sherry Spencer's in the house. Ken Salee is here. Oh, he's noticed the episode title. He's, boy, maybe I tell you what, let me pull that down real quick. Wait, where did I go? Hold on just a second. Technical difficulties. Let me pull that down just for a second for folks that are popping in. Hey, Travis Van Meter, glad that you're in the house today. Hey, always, we love to hear feedback from you guys. If you have topic suggestions, things you want to discuss, you can always send those in to, you can email them to lunch@crossroadsetown.com, where we will be sure to get those. And then we always like to get feedback from you. You can follow us on Twitter @CrossroadsEtown, @Rob_Sumrall. And then for more information about our church, you can find us on crossroadsetown.com. Though you may not want to come to our church after today's episode. We'll see. Hey, thanks for tuning in. I can't believe that you guys spend time with us. Lots of folks are tuning in. It's good to see Tony Coffee out there. Tony, I saw your picture on Facebook, man. You are looking good with that good haircut, man. Heather Salee out there. There you go. Millie Hodges is in there. She's Millie the Methodist. We love Methodists. Hey, you guys take a second. Let us know what you're having for lunch today. There's lots of you that are tuning in out there. Let us know if you're having something delicious. And while you do that, let me take an opportunity and wish some happy birthday wishes to some folks. Earlier this week, my buddy down in Atlanta area, Chris Reidler, had his birthday. Happy birthday, Chris. Marilyn Durham, happy birthday to you, Miss Marilyn. Brial Holbert, Timmy Peters, hope you had a good birthday. Pastor Kenny Raker, hope you had a good birthday earlier this week. And my buddy Josh Hawkins, hope you had a good birthday, Josh. Ben Gardner's having a turkey sandwich. That sounds delicious. Oh, Lewis O'Brien's making chicken salad now. Hey, Lewis, do you put like apples or grapes or something in there? Let me see. Amy Spriggs is not eating, but she's cooking bacon for the hubby. That sounds delicious. Way to be healthy, Amy, and way to not be healthy, Terry. Stephanie McCauley wants pizza. And Tony Coffee says thanks about the comment for his hair, and he is having turkey breast spinach wrap. And Lewis O'Brien does put grapes in his turkey salad, in his chicken salad, which is delicious. I love that. This weekend, happy birthday coming up. Travis Van Meter, pastor out in Kansas, and he's going to be preaching here at Crossroads in June. I'm excited about that. He's tuned in today, and so happy early birthday to Travis. And then I don't see her on here, but I just did mention you, Travis, okay? Lag, buddy, lag. Happy birthday to my mama. It's coming up. So, mama, happy birthday to you. Patrick Walsh is having a birthday this weekend. And let me just say a quick side note to Patrick. I got to go meet his brand new baby girl this morning, Avonlea. And she is just squishy and sweet and just delicious. I want to sop her up with a biscuit. I mean, she's just beautiful, okay? And also, happy birthday to Andy Games. Lots of birthdays. And then, that's later on. That's for next week, okay? Hey, speaking of birthdays, last Saturday I got to preside over my very first quinceañera. I've never been to a quinceañera before, and it was amazing. I mean, it was great. It was honoring Isabella Moore, and I just loved the pageantry and all of the things that go along with that, and it really was a lot of fun. Yeah, Travis says, never mind, LOL. That lag will get you every time, buddy. Ken Salee's having a ham sandwich. Miss Mildred Hodges. Miss Millie, why didn't you bring me some barbecue ribs? She's eating barbecue ribs. I bet she made those herself. Hey, in the news this week, a couple of fun news items. Dateline, Omaha, Nebraska. Jeff Bezos is now the second richest person in the world. Those of you who may not know who Jeff Bezos is, he is the CEO and the founder and chairman of Amazon. And he just leapfrogged Warren Buffett, the Wizard of Omaha. And so I'm just going to throw this out there, see if, just for fun, see if you guys can guess some of the people who are top 5 on the wealthiest people on the planet. I guarantee you won't get one of them. I'll give you some clues. 4 of them are Americans. 1 of them is European. And all of those are the 5 top, the wealthiest individuals on the planet. I worked down the list in reverse order. Number 5, drum roll please. Mark Zuckerberg. He is worth $61.4 billion. He's CEO and founder of Facebook and a college dropout. Number 4, drum roll please, Amancio Ortega. He's worth $74.2 billion. He's founder of Zara, the world's biggest fashion retailer, and he's the only non-American on the list. He's a Spaniard. And then number 3, of course, I alluded to this a minute ago, is Warren Buffett. He's worth $74.9 billion. He's chairman of Berkshire Hathaway investment brokerage firm out of Omaha, Nebraska. And Jeff Bezos, worth $75.6 billion, founder and CEO of Amazon. And then Bill Gates, of course, is worth $86 billion. He's the co-founder of Microsoft. You know, all of that. There's my Mama. Mama, I just wished you a happy birthday. I hope you're having a great day today, and happy birthday to you coming up this weekend, Mama. It just reminds me, these wealthy people, you know, I'm not going to make that list. I'm okay with that. It reminds me of what Solomon said in Ecclesiastes 5:10. Whoever loves money never has enough. Whoever loves wealth is never satisfied with their income. This too is meaningless. I mean, here Solomon is, the wealthiest man on the planet, and he said, look, it doesn't satisfy you. It's not enough. It'll never make you happy. Hebrews 13:5 gives us an admonition on how we ought to think about wealth. Keep your life free from the love of money, and be content with what you have, for he has said, I will never leave you nor forsake you. Now, I want you to make sure you get that. He said, not saying keep your life free of money, keep your life free of the love of money. And we shouldn't love money. Rather, we should be content with what we have. And he tells us what we have. And he's not talking about in monetary possession. He says, I will never leave you or forsake you. So in other words, where we may not have money, we have the Lord Jesus Christ. And he has given us himself. And that is more than enough. And so that's a beautiful thought today from that news resource. Okay. Also in the news from Seattle, Washington, Dateline, Seattle, Washington, Starbucks launches new secret medicine ball drink off the Starbucks menu. So obviously the crud's going around. The flu is making its second go around here in Hardin County where I live. And, why pay a copay and go to the doctor? I mean, just go on down to your barista at the local Starbucks and have them draw up for you a not on the menu drink. You got to know the right word. You want a medicine ball. And if you don't know what a medicine ball is, here's what the medicine ball drink is. It's made in a venti cup, which what's up with the Latin Starbucks? I mean, venti. I refuse to order in Latin when I go to Starbucks. I say, give me a small, medium, or large. I don't go to Starbucks often. I think their coffee is disgusting. But when I do go, I don't order in Latin. Okay, but if you want the medicine ball, they're going to make it in a venti cup. It's filled with half steamed lemonade, half hot water, a tea bag of jade citrus mint tea, another tea bag of peach tranquility tea. Can you taste the tranquility? 1 to 4 packets of honey, and an optional pump of peppermint. Now, one lady described this on Twitter as a liquid menthol balm. Can I just suggest to you that I have never put Vicks Vapor Rub on my chest and thought, man, I wish I could drink some of that. That is disgusting. So Tessa Hendricks thinks Starbucks is everything. She sounds like a woman who is very poor because she spent a lot of money on Starbucks. And, I talked about saving a copay. Honestly, a copay is probably cheaper than a venti at Starbucks. So, I don't know. But I wanted to get one. I wanted to get one and drink it live on the air. But I went to my Starbucks in our Kroger here, so we have 2 Starbucks locally, both of them, none of them are standalones, and so I went to the local one, and I asked them for the medicine ball yesterday, and they looked at me like I was stupid, which I just felt awful. I was like, hey, I want one of those new medicine ball cups, and the lady looks at me like, what? And she kind of looks at the guy, I said, medicine ball, your CEO talked about it. It's off the menu drink. And I don't know. Yeah, Ken, you probably do want to take one home to Melissa. I mean, hey, bring her home a disgusting glass of steamed lemonade. That's gross. There she is right now. Melissa, we were just talking about you. Okay, Jimbo Clark, welcome in here, brother. All right, so let's move right along. That's our news for today. Let's move along so I can proceed to getting fired, because today's episode title, episode 49, A Society of Outrage, subtitle, UK Fans Gone Wild. And I don't know about you, but I'm having a pretty good day. But I'll tell you who's not. John Higgins is not having a very good week. The Omaha, Nebraska native owns a roofing company. And it's hard to be your own business owner. I mean, being a small business owner is difficult, and so he's got a job on the side. He is a referee for collegiate basketball, and some might say he is, depending on who you ask, they might even say he is of the elite among the referees in college basketball. In fact, this weekend he's headed to officiate at his 8th Final Four. And he is a referee, and he's a roofer, and so he has a very creative name to his business. It's called Rooferees, okay? If you want to look it up right now, rooferees.com. If you go to rooferees.com, I would encourage you at the top of their page to take a moment and click on their Facebook icon, because it will take you to something that will explain a lot about what we're talking about today. John Higgins found himself in hot water. Yeah, elite is his bias. All right, Travis Van Meter definitely needs to be hearing what I'm talking about today. This past Sunday, he was one of 3 refs that were on the floor for the Kentucky versus North Carolina basketball game. It was a barn burner between 2 basketball behemoths. I mean, it went back and forth. There were 5 ties. There were 5 lead changes. And it came down to a 75-73 win in the very last seconds. I thought Kentucky pulled it out with about 8 seconds to go. But then UNC, they passed it into that May kid, and he was able to finish them off with like a dagger to the heart on the very last play of the game. I mean, you don't forget losses like that. It's just painful. Now, let me just say from the onset, I am not a UK fan, okay? I'm not an anti-UK, but I'm just not a UK fan. I'm not a North Carolina fan. I was cheering in that game for the Wildcats because, that's the state in which I live. I'm an Alabama fan, okay? So Roll Tide, right? And in my opinion, and I'm unbiased, I guess, but I did think the game was not really officiated very evenly, but I'm not really here to talk about that. I don't think that's not really the point of what I'm talking about, is whether or not this John Higgins called a fair game or not. It's what happened after the game that matters the most to me. After the game, upset and stung by a loss, Coach Calipari, as many coaches do, and I think he's well within his rights to do this, he kind of gave us a zinger to the refs. He said, and I'm quoting him, it's amazing that we were in that game where they practically fouled out my team. Amazing that we had a chance. And then it started. The fans attacked. Now Cal tried to call off the dogs, or the cats, if you will, by when the plane hit the ground, they realized what was happening, and he tweeted out, quote, "I always brag that we have the classiest fans in the country, let's make sure we remain that way even after a tough loss. All right? So it's hard to lose, man. It is hard to lose. Somebody is on here mentioning the Leitner moment. I mean, it was like Leitner all over again, and everybody hates Christian Leitner, right? And so Kentucky fans, here's what they did. They launched an attack on John Higgins because obviously he lost the game for him, right? Now, granted, we're not here to discuss his refereeing abilities. This is more a discussion about the moral outrage we see in our society and how we deal with that. But what they did is they went to the internet and they began to review his business on his Facebook page. In fact, since Sunday, since the completion of the game on Sunday, he has received new 885 one-star reviews since the close of the game on Sunday. 885 one-star reviews since the close of the game on Sunday. That's when you put up one of these emojis. Right? And so, for example, and I had a hard time finding some that were appropriate to read, right? And this is from Chuck Adams, who lives in Kentucky, who's reviewing the roofing quality of his business, right? Chuck Adams wrote, "John Higgins lacks integrity. Having seen firsthand and now on video multiple times his lack of dedication and honor to his side job as an NCAA ref, no way would I trust him to work on my home or business. The egregious calls he made against the University of Kentucky and something deserved, I don't know, a typo. Something deserved, but not called, should have been deserved, but not called against North Carolina reveals that John is either jealous of the success of John Calipari. Okay, get that? The ref is jealous of the success of John Calipari and of UK, or has parlayed his second job as a referee into a cash cow for himself, close friends and family, thoroughly manipulating games for Las Vegas money. Either way, he does not have the character and integrity to be unbiased as a referee should. I suspect that he will be thoroughly investigated as this age of technology and video reveals his purposeful ineptness." So he was purposefully inept, and we have two choices here. One choice is he's betting games on the side in Las Vegas and it's turned it into a cash cow, or the other choice, because we only have two choices here according to Chuck Adams. The other choice is that he is just jealous of John Calipari in UK. Well, I just want to suggest that maybe there's a third or maybe even a fourth choice, Mr. Adams, that perhaps he just made some bad calls and he had a bad day at the job like I do sometimes. I mean, not all of my sermons are home runs, right? And maybe he just, granted, it happened at a very inopportune time, and I'm sad that it happened. And where to begin? Where to begin to talk about this from a Christian worldview? Now, first of all, let me just say this. I know that not all UK fans are like this, okay? I absolutely know that. In fact, there are 885 one-star reviews, but so many UK fans have come on there on his Facebook page. I was reading some of them earlier today, and they were apologizing that he was being treated this way, okay? And wait, let me read some of these comments here real quick. Lewis O'Brien says, "Make your free throws." Travis Van Meter asks a question: does poor judgment in one area of public life open an individual for scrutiny in other areas of life? If you're a politician, it does. I don't know. That's a great question, Travis. I wish you were on here as a co-host, especially since you could give that pro-UK bias. We need to figure out how we can get on the screen at the same time. I know what it feels like to be on the wrong side. I know what it feels like to be a fan of a team, be disappointed, and for everybody to think that I'm acting the way a small minority are. I mean, these 885 people, look, the Big Blue Nation is huge. And so 885 people is a drop in the bucket of what's out there. Let me throw this name out there, Harvey Updike. You probably don't know who Harvey Updike is. I'll never forget him. He's the idiot that poisoned the trees in Toomer's Corner after Cam Newton led the comeback in Tuscaloosa about 8 years ago against the Alabama Crimson Tide. He was so upset after the game that he took he took DDT, and he poisoned these iconic trees on the campus of University of Auburn. And you know what? When he did that, I was embarrassed. I was ashamed at the behavior of this person. I mean, for crying out loud, it's a football game, right? And I think a lot of people are saying the same thing. I agree, Travis. The screen can't handle that much pretty at one time. So, I mean, Harvey Updike is a reminder to me of why we can't allow just a small minority to control the conversation. And I also know what it's like to feel jobbed when a ref does and they miss a call. I mean, the referees that oversaw my son's district soccer game when their season came to an end this year, he wrote them a letter later on recognizing that he made an egregious call where he missed a call where they should have won. And man, when that happened, I was angry, like really, really angry. But where does the Christian worldview play into all of this? How are we to understand? It's like we live in a world that feels like it has a right to outrage. And I think social media has a lot to do with this. I also think the media in general has a lot to do with it. You look at the media and you've got talking heads like Stephen A. Smith and whatever that other dude is that used to be on the show with him, who's now moved over to Fox. I mean, their deal is just say something as outlandish as possible. Colin Cowherd on ESPN. I won't even listen to. He's not on ESPN anymore because they fired him. But just saying, Skip Bayless, thank you, Ken. I mean, they want to just say as outlandish of things as they can to create outrage because they know that outrage will drive the numbers. It's all about it's all about the numbers. It's all about viewership. It's about clicks. We live in the day and the age of the Facebook rant. I mean, you can go on and you can rant on Facebook and you can carry on. And you might even say, I'm doing that right now, but I'm ranting against ranting, okay? And so, we see that in our world today, and it's just not helpful. These I think back years ago where this began to happen, and just a few years ago with. Well, I guess it was a number of years ago, but when you had guys like Maury Povich, who started his show, and who was the guy who smoked the cigarettes? Was that Maury Povich or Andrew Dice Clay? They had these shows where people would come on and it was kind of like Oprah, only angry, and people would yell at each other, and there'd be pregnancy tests, all that. It's like we feel entitled to outrage, and I have a question for you because actually Connie is remembering something I'm going to bring up right now. She said, what makes you angry, sermon? I preached on this a number of weeks ago when I was preaching from John chapter 3. I think that one of the things we need to ask is not what brings outrage to the surface in us, but what brings outrage to God. Okay, so as Christians, when it comes to outrage, Jerry Springer, thank you, Travis. As Christians, we should have outrage that reflects the character and the nature of God. And the question is there really any room for outrage with God? I have somebody texting me right now. You guys are watching me, right? Amy Powers is saying, no lunch with Crossroads? No, Amy, we're live right now. Don't be texting me. I'm doing lunch with Crossroads, right? So, anyway, sorry, I digress. We see in God an action, a reaction that is volitional, is part of his moral character, is part of his being. It's described in the terms of human emotion. Though it's different than human emotion, we have to make that distinction. But we see an outrage in him against sin. Okay? God hates sin. So much so that Christ paid the penalty for sin. We can see that God is bringing about a plan of redemption, and that happens there. So we might even say that to a degree, God hates lostness when we rightly understand that statement. God hates hatred. Okay, He hates prejudice. He hates greed. He hates he hates sex trafficking. I mean, there are so many things that we could say, and I think the main point I want to make is you can tell a lot about a person by what makes them angry. Okay, and we can tell a lot about our God when we look at God in Scripture. The things that anger Him, it tells us a lot. When God is angered by sin, what does that tell us? It tells us that He is holy. When God is angered by hatred, what does that tell us? It tells us that He values His creation and that He is loving. When God is angered by greed, what does that tell us? Well, it tells us that He hates idolatry, and He loves and longs for and deserves the worship of His people. And so we can see something about God. We can see this in the life of Jesus when He cleansed the temple. I preached on that just a few weeks ago, and that was so cool. I got to turn over that table in the worship service. You guys should have seen y'all's faces. I turned over that table and everybody was like, oh. I mean, there were people that hadn't been awake for a sermon in 3 years and they were on the edge of their seat. And, Jesus acted, but He didn't sin. We know that He was sinless when He went to the cross. And so He expressed His outrage in a way that honored the Father. And also it expressed godlike characteristics and things about God that need to be expressed, because they were misappropriating the temple and they were pushing out the Gentiles from the court of the Gentiles, and it was just such a horrible thing. And so I just want to use this whole thing, about UK fans gone wild to use it as a springboard for us to think about how should we respond in our world to the things that make us angry. I think that there are ways that are appropriate and right for us to communicate our frustration, okay? But I want to challenge you. Is the frustration that you are most often expressing a frustration that is rooted in your own preferences and your own selfishness? Or do you more often express a frustration that has to do with God and His character and His nature? These are great thoughts for us to think about. I hope that you'll continue to think about them. I hope you'll talk with some of your friends as you continue to have lunch together. Hey, thank you guys for tuning in today. I can't believe that you're tuned in. Hundreds of people watch this every week. And that's not just my mom watching it over and over again. And so I want to say thank you to you guys. I can't believe that you do that. I want to encourage you. I often encourage you to share this, but I think that this is something that needs to catch on. We need to share this kind of thing. So especially with this hot button issue of UK fans gone wild, go ahead and share this on your Facebook page so other people can see it later on. Always, we want to encourage you to follow us on Twitter at Crossroads eTown. You can follow me at Rob_Sumrall. Check us out on the web, Crossroads eTown. If you don't have a church you go to, we want to invite you to come worship with us at 10:30 on Sunday mornings. Hey, when you go to our webpage, why don't you sign up for Weekend Update? It'll keep you abreast on all the things that are going on in Crossroads. Like, for example, this weekend on Saturday, we're going to be having our annual Easter egg hunt here from 10 to 12, and that's going to be for kids ages 2 to 8. And that's a really great time for them. Darian does a great job of sewing the gospel in. It's supposed to be a beautiful day, so I want to encourage you to come on out for that. Also, be aware that upcoming on April 10th, we are going to be launching out our brand new our video series to help with family worship guides for Holy Week. And so there's actually a teaser video up of that on the web today, and that's going to help you guys out. And then remember, next week, no lunch with Crossroads, but by all means, be back to tune in, because on April 13th, we are going to have our 50th episode where we're going to have a great topic of discussion. That'll be on Monday, Thursday on that week. So I want to encourage you to tune in for that. Hey guys, thank you guys. I appreciate you so much. This is Pastor Rob Sumrall, pastor at Crossroads Baptist Church. God bless you. I hope you have a great week wherever you're at.